there's a deep, unsettling truth found in the words of Friedrich Nietzsche. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. These words sound almost prophetic, an eerie warning about the potential consequences of our actions when faced with evil, violence, or overwhelming darkness in the world. Nietzsche's statement speaks not just to the nature of monsters, but to the transformative power of struggle itself, and how the pursuit of justice or righteousness can sometimes corrupt us in ways we might not expect. The monster we fight may not just be the evil that stands before us, but the evil within ourselves that emerges in the heat of that battle. But what does this truly mean for human nature and morality? How does the confrontation with the monster, whether external or internal, shape us? And more importantly, what does this insight reveal about our understanding of morality and the human condition? In this essay, we'll explore Nietzsche's chilling, yet profoundly insightful warning, diving into the nature of human conflict, morality, and the psychological toll of engaging with evil. We'll attempt to answer the question, can we engage with the world's darkness without becoming consumed by it? Let's embark on a journey of self-reflection, philosophical exploration, and deep moral inquiry to uncover the truth behind Nietzsche's words. Before we dive deep into Nietzsche's exploration of human nature and morality, I want to take a moment to welcome you to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel. Here, we tackle some of life's most profound philosophical questions, analyzing ideas that have shaped human thought for centuries. Whether you're passionate about exploring human nature, understanding complex moral dilemmas, or delving into the minds of great philosophers, you're in the right place. Our channel is all about thoughtful reflection and intellectual exploration. We dig into the heart of philosophy, psychology, and culture to uncover new perspectives on the world. If that sounds intriguing, be sure to subscribe to the Unfolding Journey, and don't miss out on more thought-provoking content that challenges our understanding of life. Now, let's get back to Nietzsche and his powerful ideas about morality, human nature, and the dangers of confronting darkness in the world. When Nietzsche speaks of fighting monsters, what exactly is he referring to? In his works, monsters could represent many things: oppression, tyranny, evil, or the broader forces of injustice that plague society. In a more contemporary context, monsters could refer to those who commit atrocities or those who perpetuate violence, whether they be political figures, ideological opponents, or even social systems that maintain inequality and suffering. Monsters, in Nietzsche's view, are not always those who appear physically monstrous, but often those who wield power unjustly and force others into submission. The monster could also be an abstract enemy, representing oppressive ideologies that harm individuals or communities. When we fight monsters, we stand against the forces that seek to degrade humanity, whether through violence, dehumanization, or manipulation. But Nietzsche's warning about becoming a monster in the process challenges the very foundation of how we approach evil and injustice in the world. Nietzsche is not simply warning us about fighting external forces, but about the toll it takes on the soul. The battle against evil and monsters, if we're not careful, can cause us to lose sight of our original values and intentions. Fighting against cruelty, injustice, and hatred can sometimes lead us to adopt similar tactics or to harbor the very hatred we oppose. The more we focus on defeating what is evil, the more we might begin to embody its characteristics. Think about how people change when they are constantly immersed in conflict. Over time, their sense of right and wrong can become blurred. They may find themselves resorting to violence, dishonesty, or manipulation, moral compromises that they would have previously rejected in their fight for justice. What was once a clear moral cause might become muddied by the very methods used to achieve it. In Nietzsche's eyes, this transformation is dangerous, as it can erode the very moral foundation that the person once stood for. Nietzsche's insight suggests that when we fight monsters, we must be vigilant in preserving our own integrity. The very act of engaging with evil can expose us to the risk of being seduced by the tactics of the very forces we oppose. In other words, as we confront the darkness in the world, we must not allow it to consume our own humanity. The second part of Nietzsche's famous quote speaks to the deeper psychological consequences of staring too long into the abyss. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. This powerful metaphor suggests that when we confront overwhelming darkness or evil for too long, we risk being consumed by it. Just as a person who stares into a dark abyss can lose themselves within its depths, we too risk losing our sense of self when we dwell too deeply on evil. This is especially true when we become fixated on the external monsters we fight, but it's equally applicable to the internal darkness within us. The more we fixate on hatred, anger, or bitterness, the more likely we are to internalize these emotions. The abyss represents not just external evil, but the darker parts of ourselves that can be awakened by prolonged exposure to negativity or violence. The longer we focus on these negative forces, the more they may begin to shape our own psyche and moral compass. The abyss is not only a metaphor for the external world, but also for the internal battle we face when confronting evil. The idea of the abyss gazing back into us speaks to the idea that confronting evil can often lead us to confront our own inner darkness. As we struggle against external forces, we may begin to confront parts of ourselves we are uncomfortable with: anger, fear, or even a desire for revenge. The longer we stare into the abyss of injustice or evil, the more we may find ourselves battling a darkness within ourselves. Nietzsche's warning also touches on the complexity of human nature. To understand the full implications of his quote, we must acknowledge the tension between our capacity for good and our potential for evil. Human beings are not simply good or bad. We are capable of both. Nietzsche, who was highly critical of traditional moral systems, believed that much of human behavior, especially the tendency toward cruelty and violence, was rooted in the desire for power. Humans, according to Nietzsche, are driven by the will to power, an innate drive to assert control and to shape the world around them. This drive can manifest in positive ways, such as in creativity or intellectual achievement, but it can also manifest in destructive and harmful ways. When individuals or groups fight to protect their own power, they may justify extreme actions or cruelty, especially when they believe they are combating a threat to their existence. Nietzsche's insight forces us to consider that evil is not simply something external to us. It exists within all of us. We are all capable of becoming monsters in the process of defending ourselves, our values, or our vision of the world. Recognizing this dark potential is crucial to maintaining our moral integrity. When we acknowledge that we are capable of both good and evil, we are better able to navigate the complexities of morality and make conscious choices about how we confront the challenges of life. The concept of moral purity is a recurring theme in many traditional ethical systems, where individuals are urged to uphold certain ideals and avoid corrupting influences at all costs. Nietzsche, however, challenges this notion. He argues that striving for moral purity can paradoxically lead to greater moral corruption. When individuals or groups pursue righteousness with unchecked fervor, they often become blind to the moral compromises they make along the way. The pursuit of moral purity can lead to dogmatism, authoritarianism, and the justification of harmful actions for the sake of a perceived greater good. This brings us back to Nietzsche's warning. When fighting monsters, we must be careful not to become consumed by the very thing we are trying to eradicate. The danger lies in the belief that we alone are morally pure or justified in our actions, which can blind us to our own flaws. True morality, in Nietzsche's view, comes from embracing our imperfections and recognizing that we are not immune to the darkness we fight against. Friedrich Nietzsche's profound insight: whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster, is a chilling yet essential reflection on the nature of morality and human nature. As we confront evil in the world, whether in the form of external oppression or internal darkness, we must be vigilant about how our struggle affects our own moral compass. Fighting monsters may seem noble, but it carries the risk of becoming that which we despise. The abyss that we stare into may not just be an external force, it can be the darkness within ourselves. To preserve our integrity and humanity, we must recognize the dangers of moral absolutism and the need for self-awareness. Nietzsche's words challenge us to fight evil without allowing it to consume us, to confront injustice without losing our own moral compass. We must fight monsters, but we must never forget the monster within. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Nietzsche's powerful reflection on human nature and morality. If you found this philosophical dive thought-provoking, be sure to subscribe to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel. Here, we continue to tackle life's big questions, engage with complex ideas, and explore the nature of existence and morality. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more insights into the human condition. Until next time, remember to look within and keep unfolding your own journey.